so we can completely obliterate his HP this turn. Oh man, this card is just so insanely flexible, it's not even funny. Easy! Oh my god, the damage! We actually will raise him. And see, man, I kinda like this card, it's actually so useful every single time. Draw 4, casually. Hello everyone, it's Sloth. Finally, I joined the YouTuber ranks with new set and new standard. And I have to tell it, it's just amazing. It feels so great. And the new cards are really amazing. And I will tell you about my impressions, what cards overperformed and what I liked the most about the deck in the end. First we will read the new cards so we know exactly what they do. And on top of this, guys, I'm recording this during the night, like super late night. I should be sleeping. What more? I spent like insane amounts just for the gems because I actually crafted like full set just to showcase you some decks. So if you appreciate all the sacrifice because my wallet still hurts, just hit the subscribe, make it a bit sweeter because I don't feel great. I don't feel great, Mr. Stark. With that being said, let's go into the deck. That's why you are here. So the new cards. Silver Scrutiny. Very interesting card. Basically 2 mana investment and you draw X. And you can draw a lot of cards with this. And you will see it working for a high roll in one of the games. Definitely very interesting card, and it has flash, so if you very often you will cast it for like 5. This is the optimum, and this is a big refill. 3 cards at the end step is a big deal. It's like a Graven Lord without the scry, and the fact that you can go with you know, like 8 cards late game during your main phase, it means that whatever enemy do, you will just answer it somehow. Impulse, 2 mana, look at the 4 top cards of your library. Put one of them into hand, the rest at the library, not the graveyard. That actually matters sometimes. Very interesting card, definitely. This lets you find, basically how you use it. You get either a better card draw, like Silver Scrutiny or Memory Deluge. You get a sweeper, so Meathook Massacre, or you get a big threat, like Sphinx, or Kaito, usually. This is how the card usually plays. And the fact that sometimes land, if you have Meathook and you don't know if you can make a land drop to kill enemy creatures next turn. But this card is actually pretty powerful. I need to play with it more, but definitely something to keep eye on. Of course, Essence Scatter is back. Pretty amazing card. 2 mana hard counter spell for basically 90% of the opponent decks because nobody plays control except us. And Ertai Resurrected. Card that I still like. This is the card I was most excited for. Like I love the whole idea. And I think definitely it can be completely insane card, especially in the right deck. And even if the deck isn't right, the card is amazing still. I need to play with it a bit more. It's definitely like complete tempo changer. Like it can go 2 for 1, and it usually does. Even though enemy has extra cards, so it's basically not 2 for 1. On the board, on the like tempo, you are completely reversing the full situation. And the fact that it's so flexible, and in some of the games, you will actually see that even if enemy draws card, it won't be the same card you countered. This is such a big difference. You can counter like Meathooks, you can counter like 5-6 mana finishers. Sure, enemy draws a card, but what then? Did he draw a land? Did he draw a 2-drop? His threat is gone. And the fact that he draws a card does not completely reverse this effect. It's a different card. So you need to be tactical what you counter, or you just need to be super aggressive with this just to trade for as much as you can, just to get rid of the biggest value on the enemy board just for the tempo. But this card is definitely one of my favorite, and it sums the Dimir so perfectly. Like really, I think so far it might be the favorite card of the full set for me. Can we foil it? Oh, there is an art. Okay, I will do it, okay? I will be playing with this for next year, so it's definitely a good investment. I want to have it. Alright, and Sphinx. Sphinx is, as you know, the domain. We can actually activate full domain with this deck. It's tricky. So let's start with the reading of the card. Man, I actually should read the card, right? I said I will read the card. So we probably read it so far, but for anyone who didn't, sorry, I will learn it. 4 mana, 3/2 flash, and when it comes into battlefield, you either counter something, it is also activated ability, and its controller draws a card, or you destroy creature or planeswalker, its controller draws a card. It doesn't have to be opponent. You can kill your token and draw a card. That's actually a big deal as well. And of course, it's super flexible. Sphinx of the Clear Skies, 3 colorless blue. 5/5 flyer with worth 2, not 4, worth 2. That's a big difference. And it has the domain clause. So whenever this deals combat damage to a player, not to anything, to a player, reveal the top X cards of your library, and X is the number of basic land types. So of course up to 5. Opponent separates those 2 cards in 2 piles, so factor fiction for the veterans, and one you choose which pile you want basically. And piles can be empty, great. And basically how it works is that you have triumphs in the deck, so you have Raffine Tower. This alone makes you domain 3. So it means that you get to draw either 2 cards that are bad or 1 great card from the top of the 3 best cards. And that's a big deal. If you use Thran Portal, another great main, like this is completely mainstream, everyone seems to play Thran Portal, and for a good reason. It's just amazing land. The only drawback it has is that you pay life every single time you activate it. So when this enters to battlefield, it is tapped unless this is up to 3rd land you play. So it's a bit different than the previous land of this type. If this is your 3rd land drop, it's still untapped. And when it enters the battlefield, you choose a basic land type, and this is the basic land type you have chosen. It's still a gate. For like historic, it matters. And yeah, you basically get like an untapped basic of your choice, and that's a pretty huge deal. Also, this is not something that gives mana of this color, it's basic land type. So it means that if you play this on mountain and you play it on forest, and this is like, it's not a theoretical scenario, you are playing 2-color deck. At turn 6 or 7, you don't care what the color of the mana is. And it means that you can as well take like colors you don't play, because this doesn't hurt you. You can also play it in the same turn you are trying to attack with the Sphinx, and suddenly, out of nowhere, ramp up to 4 domain. And if you can get maximum value, which is not really hard with this, you get 5 top cards from your library. So this is basically a full factor fiction, and you get usually like 3-2 split of 3 average cards and 2 good cards. You usually probably take 2 good cards, and your opponent loses the game because you got just the perfect cards for the situation. So if this attacks and hits the enemy, that's a big deal. This is a very strong card, but it has to attack. And problem with this card that I have is that our opponent can answer it with mana efficiency, because Infernal Grasp will cost 4 and you paid 5 for this. With Imrev that was not the case, they needed to overpay. And if you were on the play casting Imrev, they could not answer this. Even if they had perfect answer, it was impossible to kill Imrev. And that's a big deal, because sometimes you get a free Imrev into the board that will dictate the rest of the game. With Sphinx, the card dies a lot, I have to say it. And I think that it's really important that we stress one interaction that I learned the hard way. Dominaria United, 3, Mythic, black. Oh look, Liliana of the Veil, one of the most played cards that will be in the standard right now. -2, target player sacrifices a creature. It goes completely around the full word thing. And honestly, I lost Sphinx like 50 or 60% to Liliana. One time I think it was my mistake, but this is definitely something to keep eye on. And this is one of the reasons I like Kaito with this deck, because Kaito creates a Ninja, and they usually don't answer it because it's just a 1/1 token and they don't want to waste the card. And we have Ertai, that is also a creature. And maybe if you are playing against deck with Liliana, be careful and maybe just get this token or Ertai first, just so you can, sacrifice different creature. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's what I learned today. And Cruelty of Gix, a very interesting card. I didn't play with it enough, you will see it in action sometimes. But man, like the chapter 2 is a big deal. Like it will win you so many games. So what the card does? 3 colorless, black, read ahead like Saga. So it has 3 chapters, you can basically choose which one you start with, but then it goes like usual Saga way. So the first chapter, target opponent reverse his hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker card only from it, and that player discards this hand. So it's a discard, but very conditional, especially against control. If they don't have planeswalker actually in the hand right now, you don't hit anything because they have like counter spells and stuff. Second chapter, this one is one of the most interesting for me and I'm excited for this one. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand and shuffle. You lose 3 life. Lose 3 life is not conditional. If you play this on chapter 1 or 2, you will lose this 3 life and you need to consider it because you have painlands. You have enemy attacking you in the face and you have this. Don't forget, it's not optional, you cannot skip it. And basically it's Grim Tutor, just built into this card, by the way. And you usually take Meathook Massacre to win the game with this. That's my experience. You either get this or like Silver Scrutiny, just to refill the hand, depending on the situation. And the third chapter is the main dish, let's say. Put target creature card from a graveyard, from a graveyard onto battlefield under your control. So basically it's like the third chapter of, how was it called? The Elders Reborn or something like this. And you can basically just play it as a 5-mana reanimation spell. It's already pretty good. And the fact that it has 2 chapters of the upside, which are no joke, this card is pretty insane. It needs slower meta definitely, but this card is actually pretty strong, especially that sometimes this card effect does not come into play, especially with Liliana on the meta. You are very often top decking against enemy, and you can just go for the chapter 2 then. Or you can go for chapter 1 just to ensure that this card that you get from tutor cannot be discarded because it's an upkeep. So sorcery speed cannot hit it. That's actually a very important play. Sometimes if you are against Liliana, you will cast it for chapter 1 just to prevent the discard. And yeah, I like the card, I will play with it more. Okay, so the main impressions after playing this deck. I think Silver Scrutiny is a huge surprise for me. I didn't expect much from this card. I'm still not 100% how good it is, but it felt great. Every single time I drew it, it felt great. And I never felt like, oh my god, I hate to have it in the hand. It was always like, oh, we will draw some cards at some point in the game. It seems really strong. And 5 mana is the sweet spot when you usually cast it. And it's really enough, like with 3, okay, you usually draw 3 lands if you are a sloth, but still, usually you draw something, like jokes aside, and the fact that you can just go main phase and completely tap out, just say, whatever you want opponent, just do it. My answers are better, and that actually is true most of the time. And with this deck, I'm very often like with 8-9 mana late game, drawing 6-7 cards, you will see it one of the games, is insane. The fact that it's still very flexible and it's basically like Memory Deluge when it's on 4-5 mana, I really like the card. I missed the flashback from Deluge, so I'm not sure if it's better than the Deluge. Like, they feel a bit different. I'm not sure. Like, I like having second cast of Memory Deluge, but this is definitely a strong card. If you have it, try it. If you think about crafting it, I need to still make my mind on this, but definitely something that performed better than I expected. Impulse, actually pretty sweet card, like I said before. I will play with it more, but so far it saved a lot of games. Maybe it's actually a very good card. Like, the flexibility is there, and digging 4 cards instead of like usual 3, and also it's an instant. Like, with deck like this, when you have very heavy effects, depending on the situation, you can get either Sphinx, either Cruelty, or just Memory Deluge and Silver Scrutiny. So if you are in a slower matchup when you want card draw, this is in a way card draw, because you get to hit the card draw. So I kinda like it so far. I'm not sure if that's the best for two mana spot, but so far I was always happy to draw this card. Maybe if meta will be extremely aggressive, which is very likely with the Painlands, like the aggro is getting better if you play if you play Painlands, it definitely hurts much more than usually. So maybe then it won't be good, but so far I'm super happy with this. And Cut Down, of course, amazing card, play 4 of this. It's just amazing. Like, use it, seriously. With this kind of pain lands, you also want some life drain. So that's why we play Meathook Massacre and March. Like, usually they were to be ahead. Right now I feel that I need to play them to not be behind. Like, we are getting hit by Thran Portal a lot. Even though we don't play like strict Painlands, this is a Painland. And this always deserves some life. Like, you know, you always pay the life cost, whether you cast it for colorless or the... So it's a bit worse than the Painlands in a way. Of course, that's for balancing issues, but this is the reason you sometimes... And this is the first time when I don't cast March at the full power, because if you want to get extra damage with this, you pay 1 life to gain 1 life if enemy doesn't answer in any way. So that's not a great deal. So you generally skip the Thran Portals for tapping if you cast March, which is a bit weird feeling, but definitely something to consider. Okay, rambling aside, if you want to see the gameplay, we have a lot of games. I try to make them entertaining, I hope it worked. Don't forget to subscribe, like, it took a lot to make this video, and I will still try to make another video for, you know, next day, or the same day if you are watching it when it's published. So, you know, but it was definitely exciting. I'm so happy there's finally new Dimir cards, and we will definitely play so many new decks, so stay tuned. And that's, with that being said, let's go into the games. Thank you. Okay, we are going first with a pretty good hand. Man, I kinda like having Impulse. I'm not sure how good this card will be. I read somewhere that it's good. I generally know those kind of cards is not the best, because you basically pay two mana to gain no card advantage and no tempo and no nothing basically. But man, it's like, it feels pretty good to know exactly what you can dig for, depending on the situation. Hopefully initiate, sure. And it also shows our opponent that we have something. Okay, I see. I see how it is. So he can go up to 3. That's interesting. Okay, sure. I think we want to. We already know what to dig for. Yeah, this is good enough. Cut down, perfect. So if he gets all the mana into the Evolved Sweeper, that's perfect, because we just cut it down. We can even wait 1 more turn. Sure. Do you want to do it again, bro? Like, we are at 17, so I don't super care right now. I want to see his next play. Okay, I see. Okay, so we have clear picture. We can Meathook for 2 next turn. And yeah, I think that's the play. So we killed this one. It's perfectly statted for the cut down. Now we play this and Meathook for 2. And basically, our opponent is a really sad person right now. I like the addition of playing new card, but to be honest, like, unless he has some kind of discard effect, the Raven does not seem great in this deck. Because it's not an aggro creature, it's more of a, you know, slow stayer. Let's say it like this. Okay. Our opponent is persistent. And guess who is also persistent? we, the Dimir players, trying to steal Smork against all those aggro. He can use it as an instant, but it's still to toughness. And we can play Sphinx with Tryon next turn, so that's pretty sweet. And something I love the animation. Thank you, Wizards. I really appreciate this one. Liliana of the Veil. Oh boy, yeah, like he thinks it will hurt us. Little did he know, we actually don't super care at all. So we will leave the cut down. And given we have 2 cards, We can discard this one, and this one will be refilled. So, like, unfortunately, Sphinx will die to this. But, well, okay, maybe that wasn't the best play. I'm still not used to Liliana of the Veil against Sphinx. That's honestly, so far, this is how Sphinx dies most of the time. So, definitely not the perfect situation, to be fair. Alright, so what do we do? I think cut down goes to this. Do we fish for a land? I think we wait a moment. With Essence Scatter we are kinda happy. Our opponent will probably play the thingy. Sure. So you know, you want to do it smart. Because he might stack the triggers in a way. Like the first trigger is only 1 mana, so he can, you know, put a lot of those. So you want to make sure that it's like the expensive trigger that he cannot duplicate easily. Enjoy. We might even draw 2 cards, I'm not sure about it. Guardian, sure. It's not the most, like it basically is a 2/2 that's indestructible, but we have Meathooks for this. That's cool, bro. Yeah. Enjoy.
Don't overthink things.
If I draw a land, I will main phase this. Okay, this can kill a Planewalker. Do we care about this enough? Yeah, I think it gives us time to cast Silver Scrutiny. What are the chances that he will draw the perfect top deck, right? What are the chances? Not possible. Ever.
I'll be back.
Okay, so let's see how... I just don't want him to get this card. Other than this, every card is fine. So he wants to discard a card, right? Given he has Planewalkers, I will wait. So now he cannot cast like any Planewalker unless he wants to -2. So that's a bit of a trouble for our opponent. And see, man, I kinda like this card. It's actually so useful every single time. Draw 4 casually. What do you say, our opponent? Do you want to play this card with me? Oh my god, that's actually so funny. He also has Thran Portal. Somehow he's at 13. I don't know even how. Do you want to get Liliana back? Oh man, that's actually so bad for you. So his full turn will be removing this, and we have more cards, so we don't care about the discard. We can also kill her any moment we want. So yeah, it's basically a get back removal for 7 mana. That's not great. We very shortly will kill our opponent just with the Meathook triggers. Do you want to use mana? Okay, Extraction Specialist on the other hand is definitely a strong one, because it just gives you so much value overall. However, with the Impulse, do we want to play the Impulse just to hit the Meathook Massacre? They don't have removal. I think this is Kaito turn. It's actually really good. He cannot go -2, so Ninja is safe. He cannot really attack for a lot, so we don't super care. And the fact that we get to start drawing cards every single turn, that's really helpful. Our opponent definitely has some plays with Can't Stay Away. He can get Ravenman, I guess. Like, he has enough of the discard effect, I guess, for this one. Okay, so he will put a Death Touch counter, and it will be 3/3. Honestly, that's not the biggest deal. Like, drawing cards is a big deal, but he has no mana, and he is at 5 already. Soon he won't be able to use his cards. He also cannot attack with this because of the Extraction Specialist. I kinda don't like his position, to be fair. I guess, okay, Enlist is pretty good with the Extraction Specialist, but I think he messed it up. Like, he probably needs to do it as this creature attacks, yeah, so I think he messed something, but it's understandable. Like, it's a first dry, nobody knows how to play those cards, really. No blocks. 5 damage, sure, I'll take it. I guess Lifelink helps a bit with the Thran Portals. Sure, enjoy. And now we go, I think, Impulse. We could get rid of Liliana, but I think Impulse will be a bit better because we don't have strong play for the next turn. So let's just make sure we draw something awesome. Memory Deluge is very decent card. Like, it gives us card advantage we wanted. We don't cast March right now. Negate is also pretty sweet. Let's make sure that Liliana cannot answer our small creature. Like, I'm pretty sure we are on a good track to win this game. Thran Portal. He will want us to discard something, right? I think that's a good target. I think we killed the Evolve Sweeper in response to his activation. I think that's the play. And if he wants to attack, then we also kill it probably. Ravenman, sure. Like with Memory Deluge we are bound to hit the Meathook Massacre, and when we cast it the game is completely over, so I'm not really scared about his board too much. Now he won't mess it up. Man, he did. Like, the blockers are attacked. Why? Okay, how does it work? As this creature attack, you may tap a non-attacking creature. It's not attacking. You control without summoning sickness. It doesn't have summoning sickness. When you do at its power, he should be able to do it. I don't know why he doesn't. I think he messes it up somehow. I want to cast Memory Deluge this turn. And I want to make sure that if he activates Evolve Sweeper to draw a card, we answer with the March. And he cannot do it again. He also doesn't want to pay too much life, because he's pretty low overall. Okay. And that's an end step effect, so let's go with Memory Deluge now. Okay, so it's Sphinx and Syncopate, of course. No Meathook Massacre though. So let's go into our turn. And let's keep attacking the Liliana, I guess. Like, we can at any point just use the March to deal a lot of damage and heal, so I'm pretty sure we will have enough time to draw, but it's definitely getting a little bit scary. Like, we have 2 Meathook Massacres still, that's plenty. We should be able to do it easily, to be fair. We can also go for the Sphinx if we care. That's also pretty strong play. Yeah, it's actually super good. Because he has hard time answering it. We have March for 3 because of Kaito. Or even 4. Oh, you want to pay some life. That's great. So we get rid of this. And this dice. He gets no value because there's no counter. He paid life, he paid mana, and he got nothing, while we heal quite a bit. Okay, he still gets to draw a card. So, okay, so even though you first put the counter, it actually is a separate effect that you draw a card, I think. I think he drew, right? Okay, so we learned something. That's something I didn't know. I think it puts the counter, and when you put the counter you draw a card. But the wording is actually different. So you always get to draw a card. Okay, okay, that's definitely something to keep in mind. We have, of course, Memory Deluge. We can deal 6 damage to whatever we like, and we have Triumph. Oh, he finally did it. Good for him. So we just get rid of the Raven if we can. And he's great. And this is how he wants to play with the card, basically. So let's go for the Raven, of course. I don't want to lose the Sphinx just for... as this is indestructible, basically. And we still get to heal with Meathook for every token that we kill. And with Ninja against Liliana, he is never able to use the -2, basically, unless he kills the Ninja. And even if he could, it's still like sacrificing a Ninja and not the Sphinx, so this Ninja is actually extremely important for the full gameplay. Our opponent definitely tries his best. And this is why I've mentioned Imref Word 4 is much bigger than Word 2. If that was Imref, that would not be possible.
I'm tired
But
of
it
your
is,
secrets.
because it's not an Imref. So it definitely dies much more easily. Let's go with the standard route, and let's draw some more cards, I guess. We should hit the Meathook Massacre at some point.
There's no secret I can't
So if he attacks with everything, it's 5, 7, 8 damage, right? That's pretty perfect to kill us. We can use Ertai Resurrected, I guess, to get rid of Extraction Specialist, most likely. It means that we don't cast Memory Deluge anymore. Do we have something in the graveyard? Like Sphinx is something. So I think I won't play the card, the land, Takenuma. The play is that we cast Ertai, most likely, and we get rid of the stuff. I think he will force us to discard after he plays it. Okay, that's a good one. But we will negate this one. We will have spare mana for this. So we will keep drawing cards. Yeah, sure. He will make a Raven, of
Won't
course.
be outsmarting me.
We actually can destroy our own stuff and draw a card. That's something I didn't think about. Okay. Do we want to do something? We definitely don't counter anything. I think we want to get rid of the Guardian, right? So he cannot really enlist. I don't think Liliana is the biggest deal. I think this is the play, because he has no cards, so this is the good moment to get rid of it. And now he cannot really attack. He used the ability for no reason, because we don't have cards anymore. And now we trade with the specialist, because the other creature is already gone. So even without Meathook, we completely over-traded him, to be fair. And we are at 9 because he's feeling forced to kill a Kaito, which is honestly probably the best call. Because, like, it's Kaito. Like, you need to kill it. Cruelty of Gix. Okay, I heard you like removing spells. What do we want? I think we go for the first chapter. Okay, this is not condition. This is actually not the conditional one, so we will lose 3 life, but our opponent cannot kill us, so let's go with the first chapter. Okay, that's something I did not know, to be honest. So, you like discarding... Oh my god, we gave him the Raven! It works from both players. A Wolf Sweeper is definitely a good draw. Yep. Fortunately, both Memory Deluge work very fine from the graveyard, so it's not a biggest deal. And our opponent, as always, is trying to kill Kaito. However, now we will finally get our Meathook. We really worked for it. Please, Meathook, next time, do it on the nice way, please. Okay, first, of course, we attack. Just to make sure. This can get up to 3-3. So this is something we need to remember. We need to Meathook for enough.
Now you've got my attention.
So this will be 3, right? Put a counter. Oh, then you draw a card. So he can go 1, 2, and then he can go for the 3, draw 1 card. So it will be 4-4. So we need to Meathook for 4. Okay, good to know. And then we get some creature from the graveyard, and I'm pretty sure this will be a Wolf Sweeper. Sleeper, not Sweeper. And we get to heal so much. And our opponent needs to play a lot. I don't think he calculated it well. Oh, I guess he still wants to take so much damage just for this card, so I guess it's probably better if... like, he doesn't have good plays right now, right? And we are back to 11, and our opponent is at 3, so like those lands are pretty much dead for him. He has 5 mana in total. This one is fine. Like, Liliana hurts a little bit, but she's never like super deciding. We can play work around her. Ravenman. Okay, sure. What do we want? Yeah, sure. Evolve Sweeper seems like a pretty sweet card to have right now. And we say go. Do you want to discard some cards, my friend? I think he might even go Desperate and -2 just to get rid of the Sleeper. But with double Memory Deluge, it's not a big deal. Like, we will draw our cards. And our opponent is at 3, so that's really scary for him. Sure? Bro, graveyard. It's a graveyard. Okay, I did the same mistake like some time ago, so I shouldn't talk. Can stay away. He probably can't use it really. Like, it's so funny. Like, Thran Portal is great, but when you are like at 3 HP, you don't want to use it at all. 1 packing damage, sure. I like I really like this game. Like, it showcased so many new cards and interactions. Definitely Meathook. Wow, look how many lands we had. That's pretty insane. And let's evolve our Sleeper. I heard it's a good sleeper to evolve. That was so funny. Sorry for that. I guess we try to get rid of Liliana, right? I think we could... okay, let's be smart. I actually was super dumb about this play. Like, we can just kill our opponent. That's the control player mindset. He's at 3 HP with Planelands, but maybe I can remove the Planewalker. This game definitely was longer than it was needed. I thought it was over like at this point, but our opponent definitely did a good job, and we learned few interactions that I didn't realize. Oh boy, that's a really good start. We have Thran Portal, which is pretty sweet. It will make sure that our mana will be fixed. It will also hurt quite a bit. So our opponent is playing some kind of Gruul. Like, Gruul seems to be super popular today, so let's see how it goes. Oh, that's a bet. Oh, there's actually an... That's okay. You got a pass this time, Wizards. You got a pass. So we counter, like, if you see Kumano, it means that he wants to play a creature on this turn, so we want to keep up some interaction always. Yeah, play into my mana. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Now we follow up with Kaito, and suddenly we have a draw, and oh, Cut Down is so good. It's actually a really good draw. Yeah, so generally I think we are in a pretty good situation right now. I didn't play the Thran Portal, just because we have other ways to play. Yeah, I just needed to think, why did I do this? Like, we have other plays and I didn't want to pay life if I didn't have to. So let's start attacking. Attacking seems always a pretty good idea when you have Kaito and you draw cards for it. And 4 mana. So we won't use them much. I actually think this is okay. Like, as long as we have 4 mana, we can go a bit slower about the rest. So whenever you cast a creature spell, put counter. When this dice distribute counters, counters for any target creatures. Yeah, so basically it redistributes its counters. So we don't want to give it any counters, basically. We might have wanted to use March when it was, when he was tapped, just to prevent any kind of burn spell. Okay, and now in response. And you know what? We actually will do the smart thing. Let's just make sure that we play correctly this one, because it's very important. Kaito is our win condition basically right now. Enjoy all the counters. And this is basically 2-2 with nothing right now. No. Kaito is a cool bro. You don't get to touch him. Alright. Oh, that's such a good card. So let's keep drawing. And that's a Kaito. For you. Let's draw some cards. Let's heal some HP. Now, right now he might kill Kaito, but we already got our like draw. Like right now we can work around it very easy. So we probably want to hit Meathook Massacre. I think that's the best case scenario right now. So we can start healing out of killing the creatures. And as you can see, he thinks that we have some kind of removal, so he over damages Kaito, which is pretty awesome for us. Because he would die anyway, we didn't want to even protect him. And now we have full mana. So this Cruelty of Gix, of course. How could I not take this card? Just for the sake of being cool. Honestly, Sphinx looks pretty good as well. Like, it's a good blocker in this situation. Okay, so discards a card, then we tutor, and then we put some creature in the from the graveyard. I honestly think this is best play right now. The reason is, let's go for blue. It's a blue one. The reason is that we want to Meathook, so he needs to put more creatures into the board, because this one is too scary, and we can still Meathook around the Sphinx, because it has 5 toughness, and his creatures, I guarantee, they won't have 5 toughness. See? Easy. Easy. So with that being said, let's start attacking with everything. Our opponent definitely has something. It might be Tamio, but Tamio is not good enough. Let's get some damage and let's get some cards. I actually made a mistake. I'm not yet a good player. This should be like mountain, forest or plains, just to increase the domain. Cool. But still, like, it's basically draw 2 cards. I want definitely an island. Thank you for this choice. I knew this is the right one. And with that being said, I think it is time for Meathook. Just because it's so great to start healing. We're at 21. This doesn't kill our Sphinx, so he might pay the ward, play with fire and things like this, but he's just so behind. Like, yeah. Like, the Sphinx actually performed really well this game. It was so much pressure. Cut down, March, Syncopate, yes, yes and yes. Definitely exactly what we want from the deck. Raffine Tower. I love that you have animation. Like, it basically makes my life so much better. And Cut down is such a perfect answer to so many things. However, at this point I want to make sure that I can Syncopate his 2-drop, so we are safe from all the 2-drops right now in the game. This is kinda perfect target for the Cut down, isn't it? Sure. Do you want to pay? Nah. Cut down. Perfect stat line. Man, I love this card, it's so amazing. It's actually perfect card for everything. The bestest card ever. He might have a 2-drop, to be fair. And we might want to cycle the Raffine Tower. I use Thran Portal as a tapland basically. So of course, if you don't know, it comes tapped unless you have if this is your third land, it's untapped. If it's 4th or higher, it's tapped. Sure, attackers. I can actually cycle Raffine Tower. Okay, I can't. I could remove it via the March, but this would cost me extra card and I don't want to pay extra card. That's a solid draw. That's a solid draw. So definitely we are going Kaito, our favorite planewalker ever. I have enough of good mana. I could go for Domain and Sphinx and just go like wide or something. You know what? Let's be brainy. We are so brainy right now. We are playing in advance for our Sphinx that has Domain and benefits from the planes after we... Wow, I'm so freaking dumb. It is plains. We needed forest or mountain. Okay, learn with me, because I definitely messed this one up so much. It won't hurt us, but it's definitely not helping us as well. Okay, that's a big pain.
I learned what I needed to.
Yeah, I also learned what I needed to, Kaito. We are in the same boat right now. And I think I will actually keep the Raffine Tower. Oh boy, I want to draw something like Impulse or Memory Deluge. I think drawing it one turn faster is worth like missing some land drops. Nah. We use this one of course because it enables March for 2 if he plays something quick. And if not, it enables bigger March. And it enables cycling, which we desperately need. Okay, 3 mana, that's so good. Sure. Like, it's not the worst, like, we are high on HP, so I think we are fine. We just need to hit something like Meathook, or, yeah, we will take this damage. Impulse is a really good draw. Good. I think attacking has literally no sense. Even making this a bit more awkward for our opponent is good enough. Yeah, actually Okiba Reckoner Raid, together with the Painlands that will be in the format, is actually draining so much. I mean, so much. I don't need to block this one, because I want to Impulse first, and I want to make sure that I cast March when he's tapped out completely. So let's get some good cards, shall we? Oh boy, yes, man, I kinda like the Impulse. I can't lie, this is a pretty decent card lately. Forest. Okay, now I learned. It's a forest. We are playing 5-color deck. It's actually funny that we are playing Dimir only, but with Raffine Tower and the Thran Portals we can easily domain for 5. That's pretty insane, to be honest. And I think right now we use the Ninja just to block if he attacks. Because this enables our big Silver Scrutiny for 5. And that's insanely important. So for our opponent it would seem like inconsistency. We didn't block last turn, why do we block this turn? But it's actually reasonable, this draw changed so much. Man, I really like the card. Like, I was skeptical, but I was in doubt, but I really like this card. I love drawing 3 lands from the top. That's how it usually ends. So I think we go with the marches. Cruelty is amazing, but I think we are a little bit too behind on the board to just go with it. Like, we don't want so much damage, you know? Menace. Okay, so how much do we have? 3, 4. 4 untamed mana. Honestly, I think it's this one. Menace is more annoying, but this has more toughness, so it's a bit harder for our opponent to remove. Okay, like, if that's the case, if he doesn't play anything, like the Cruelty of Gix is good enough. Okay, Trespasser, so we maybe not want to play the land. He should definitely do this, but I'm super happy. This is a really good draw. So let's go for 3. And force our opponent to make better plays than this. Like, I think this is the breaking point. He lost all the pressure, we start healing, and we can start with Cruelty of Gix from the next turn onwards. Like, this is okay, but it's just one-time attack, so we don't super care. And we can heal even more. My turn. And given we have healing, I actually think this is good enough. Cruelty of Gix. And we don't read ahead, we start from the scratch. Oh, creature or planewalker card. Okay, I learned something. I definitely learned something right now. And I think we pay 1 life just for this extra draw next turn. Also, this is a blocker in case something goes extremely wrong. Yes, I know he has Infernal Grasp, but I don't know. We force him to play it, so whatever he drew, he cannot use it anymore then. And given we can get any card from our full deck, this is one-time damage. We just want to minimize the damage, especially that he had answers and he didn't want to use them. And after attack I don't care, because I get Meathook Massacre if something big comes into play. Man, we actually heal so much out of those zombies, they barely even matter. Sure. Enjoy, my friend. This time he might actually do the right decision and drain us. No, still not. Still not. What's fun is actually this comes with the creature from the graveyard, so it's double efficient to remove the creatures because one of them will be ours. And our opponent still didn't catch up on this. Alright, like we have so many decisions. I think like Meathook Massacre will probably be the play, but Silver Scrutiny would be freaking amazing. And can we do it? Our opponent won't kill us, right? If we go for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can draw 5 cards without paining ourselves at all. Okay, just for the sake of viewership. Guys, I'm doing it for you. Because it's way too fun. Oh my god, that's so cool. And those are good cards, so we start with this one. We go for 2, 5. 5 indeed. You know, casual 5 cards from the top. Seems pretty good. Oh, cut down. So good. We play the land because we have so many cards, and now we can cycle whatever we don't like. But frankly, I like kinda everything.
There's no secret I can't.
Ertai Resurrected. I think we don't need 2 of you, bro. I think 1 is enough. Cut down doesn't hit anything, but we can always exile it to March and kill whatever we want. We cast something main phase, so it's not an issue. Do we want to get rid of the Trespasser? Let's check the attacks. I don't care about the graveyard thing too much. Like, it's just 1 extra damage. Okay, so he went for the face, which is probably pretty smart. How much do I want to pay? We can go for 4, and we should probably. So let's remove this one. And I don't want to remove cards, I think. I guess this deals more damage in the end. So you know what? Let's go for 3. We also need to pain ourselves a little less, just to kill Trespasser. And this land is not the most important one. So we can discard it pretty safely. And you know, we will get our own Trespasser very soon. We might also get Ertai Resurrected, give him card, and basically negate his full board. Honestly, that seems pretty sweet. I will check the graveyard when it's time. I don't want to show our enemy. I don't think he knows how Cruelty of Gix works, really. Alright, so what can we get from a graveyard? So we don't have any creatures in the graveyard, I assume. We actually don't. Cool, cool, cool. So it's probably Trespasser. We could also just make a full zombie. You know what? It's epic. It's epic. I will go for the epic one. Even if he plays Meathook Massacre. I don't care, okay? I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. It's too fun of a play to not make it. I think this is enough. Now we decline. Also, he cannot Meathook this one, so we basically cleared the board anyway. Let's draw some cards. Man, this is so fun. We are taking our opponent adversary, basically. I don't think I need more lands, to be fair. With Impulse, but I like my extra HP. Like one is 1 more mana, basically. And let's see how it goes. We also can just counter Meathook Massacre, which is probably good play. Sure. With those tokens, if he doesn't cast Meathook, we can actually kill him very quickly. It's like 12 damage, right? Already, so he's at 8. Okay, Kaito. Good choice, good choice. Probably. So if we cast Ertai, he is Meathooking. So I think we are fine with Kaito that. It also doesn't pressure our HP at all. And I think he will go for the Meathook, so we can completely obliterate his HP this turn. Ah, oh man, this card is just so insanely flexible, it's not even funny. Easy! Oh my god, the damage! We actually will raise him. Sphinx, oh my god, it's just getting worse for our opponent. And now he does not have Meathook Massacre, while we do. Oh, look at this damage. He's at 5 already. He's at 5! Just from his own adversary. This was his own card that did all of this damage. It's so hilarious. And we will play Sphinx. Oh boy, he's actually lower than us right now. And Sphinx will ensure that there are no easy plays. But you can see, like, this is such a big difference versus Imref. Like, casting this for 6 would be basically his full turn and he needs a swamp. Casting this for 2 is like, it's okay, you know? We will cast Impulse to check our answers. Maybe we can protect it. But it's... Do we want to protect it? To be honest, like, Memory Deluge is better. Like, it's objectively better. If he has another removal, like Infernal Grasp, he can cast it because it's not an Imref. Okay, for the viewers, I know you want to see the Sphinx domain for 5. So let's counter it. Let's test our luck. Do you have another one? I think he has it. I think he has it. And I messed up. Oh my god, I was so focused on the play that I forgot that you need to trigger the word first. Yep. Okay, I messed it up. I messed it up, I admit. This one is on me. Oh my god, and what's the worst part? I will have to give this game on online. Because I want you guys to also know how it all works. Oh my god, I will have to endure this. Fortunately, nah. We just threaten our opponent that we can attack every single turn. It's nighttime, so the Trespasser is much stronger. I think he has Trespasser, right? If he checks the graveyard. Takenuma. Oh boy. Okay, sure. He does not have enough mana, but yeah, Trespasser is pretty good. That's why we counter it. We definitely don't want our opponent to get any higher on HP. I don't want to draw more lands, please. Just no. Also, our opponent cannot play the Tenacious Underdog, which is pretty sweet. Oh boy, like this war trigger will haunt me. Like, I know those things, but I just was so focused on like which play we are making that I completely forgot to check the triggers. Excuses, I know, but that's the truth. I'm not bad player. Alright, so at least we remember stuff like this. I still think we will win this, but definitely closer than I would like to. And I think this is the winning play. Ninja will kill our opponent, and if he sweeps the board, the only thing that saves him is Meathook Massacre, which we already countered.
I've got all kinds of connections.
I guess I could draw a card, but I want to have 2 creatures, and Kaito is phased out anyway, right? So we get to cycle at least one of those cards, whatever happens. His best draws, Meathook Massacre and Trespasser. Probably Trespasser would be amazing. No. Never. Bro? I will gladly trade for your gameplay. Triggers. They are a thing. Is enemy having some backup? No, he doesn't. Okay, that was fun. But you can definitely... Of course, this game Sphinx died because I'm a bad player. But you can clearly see the difference between Ward 2 and 4. Ward 2 enables sometimes our opponent to make multiple plays. But yeah, definitely it's still harder if you don't mess up the triggers.